Hello everyone, Achadino over here, and today we are going to talk about bosses, talents, and basic strats. I'm not going to go into advanced strats or boss per boss because I do want to do those in Mythic, and I still don't have footage or the right information to do that, but let's talk about heroic and normal for the most part. Do remember, of course, that we always have the cool shit that you can check for all of the videos. It also has some very brief descriptions of the rotations, how to enter dance, etc, etc. We are also going to be using two information things, Warcraft logs and lorks. Lorks is mainly to have a visual representation of how people use the cooldowns, and Warcraft logs to mostly get the talents. Now, first of all, I'm going to explain sub doesn't change much actually from boss to boss. The only main difference that you will have will be people that have the new 4 set and people that don't. Now, let me explain. If you have the old 4 set or 2 set and 2 set, you need to sim because maybe in Lingering Shadows is good in single target. For me, it was not because I have a lot of mastery. So Dark Shadow is a little bit stronger even if I'm running the 2 set and 2 set. Also depends on your trinkets and other gearing things, but for the most part, unless some bosses have full AoE capabilities all of the time, we are not going to be using potent powder much unless we get to that new 4 set that it becomes quite stronger, even on bosses that don't have it super far away. Now, of course, this is kind of like the baseline for when you have for single target without the new 4 set. If you have the new 4 set, you just change and can use Lingering Shadow instead. One thing that I'm going to say very fast is in Sesdorak, you will see some people use Gloomblade, but it's better to have Dark Shadow mainly because of the damage amp, even if Gloomblade seems a little bit better in single target. Now, let's go boss by boss. Here we have the first boss. Let's go into it. Nescali, the Soul Coiler. You will see a lot of people running almost the same things. Of course, as you might expect, the people that are on top are the ones that have the Heart of Pull attack. Another thing that you do want to have is, remember, this is heroic. Here you can get potent powder, but it's not such a huge win that you have AoE all the time. There is no need. And even in Mythic, you get to just go inside sometimes and do even more single target damage. One thing that I would change is instead of Ethereal Croak, I will run Bait and Switch. Because if you run Cheat Death, although I do like Elusiveness more than Cheat Death, but Cheat Death is very good for progression, you can use your Evasion to have 15% damage reduction on magic damage. It's good for the Soak and other general things, even for the Dispel. Talents won't change much on all of the other things. If you want, you can take Sanguine Vial instead of the Iron Stomach because sometimes you get some resets from killing the little lads, but don't care about that. Really, the most important thing is if you have Forset, you will run Lingering Shadows. If you don't have Forset, you will run the Dark Shadow. There are old builds that do use Improved Secret Technique, but we don't really use them as we get more gear and other things. Now let's go into the cooldown usage. This one is very straight lined. You just use blades on cooldown and try to just not lose as much time as possible. Dances are also super baseline. You use those at the beginning, then another one on cooldown. Gormao is not here, but it's almost the same. And there's not much else. This is, of course, a place where you do pop on pool your pot, so it doesn't change much. Or you can change it and use it on the last phase, because remember the last phase is still a DPS race, and maybe your group does use Bloodlust on that last phase. And you can see here some people do use Bloodlust on that extra phase, mainly because a lot of execute classes benefit out from it. We do benefit from Bloodlust, but not crazily. We don't really care if it's at the beginning or in the next one. Now, the second boss, will be Entomb Sentinels. It's not the second boss per se, but let's say it's most of the time the second boss that people do. Now, this boss is full single target, kind of. You could argue that sometimes you have to target to have potent powder, but same thing. I will also run bait and switch instead of ethereal cloak. Maybe a lot of people just don't care about this, or they do like that cloak lasts 2 seconds longer, but I think having an additional cooldown on evasion is kind of neat, and there is a lot of rot damage that you do get. And if you are in mythic, the switch phase thingy does extend a little bit while people are in the dark trying to find the last people. Of course, also that pulses a little bit higher. For DPS, you will see almost the same things on just trinket and then a good passive, nothing crazy. And same thing as before, if you have the new forces, you are going to have lingering shadows, and if you don't, you are going to have dark shadows. Some people still have improved secret technique or Bloomblade. I do not recommend Bloomblade on this boss because sometimes you do have 2 target cliff, and Dark Shadow is going to kind of be way better on that. For the people using Follow the Blood instead of Momentum of Despair, I don't know what they were thinking. Weird things. Now, for cooldown usage, the only thing that you need to care about in this boss is when they go into the middle, they don't take almost any damage. And that sometimes if you are on the red group and you use Soaked, you don't want to use Shadow Dance. You will see some people do delay Shadow Dance a little bit, or use it earlier, or anything like this. This was kind of this weird thing. Just remember that when you soak the blood thing, even on your heroic, I think, and on mythic, you also have to go away and leave the pool. And then, of course, before the intermission, you do have to stay away from everyone. And in mythic, you do have to do that little touchy. But as melees, we don't really care about that much. We are very close to each other. Next boss will be Vashnik the Malignant. Here, you may see more people trying to go for to AoE the but same thing as before, it's not really worth it to get potent powder. It's so much that have to die, yes, but a lot of classes have free AoE, and also Dark Shadow does work as kind of an AoE thing, and of course, if you have the new forces, we are going to be using Lingering Shadow. As for the improved secret technique, same thing as before, we don't really run this anymore, even with the new 2 set and the other 4 set, mainly because this does increase the damage of our builders, and also it has the power from the 2 set. One thing that is very cool in this fight is, this is one of the few fights that I would recommend that you do run cheat death. Sometimes you do get clipped by the waves coming, and same thing as before, bait and switch, super good. You can use evasion to reduce random damage, like when these spells are coming, or if you get targeted by the super debuff that needs to be healed. Other things to know are the cooldown usages. Vashnik, nothing crazy. You will see some people that do delay the blades because they have to run away to kill some ads or something like that. If you look at the dance usage, some people will use an extra dance or not use the extra dance and use it with blades. This is maybe to also have some cooldowns for when more ads spawn, because remember, if you are on the purple part, that's why maybe these people do get more DPS. You can save blades for the purple spawn and do more damage. Of course, this may lose you a cast in the fight, but as you can see here, many of them didn't lose any cast. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what most likely you will get in a normal heroic kill, and then some of them did get to 5, but it's not as usual. Let's go into the next boss, the Lux Explorers. Now, this is a fight where I do think that potent powder is a very strong contender, mainly because you do have a 2-target situation at all times. If the tanks are moving the boss correctly, it depends if you begin with Gebo and the other one, or the I always remember if it's Nala and Iku, yeah, or Nala Iku or Iku Gebo or something like that, or if you do the mushroom things or the jump first or whatever. Lots of strat changes, but same thing as before. This is also kind of good for cheat death because sometimes you do get slammed for too much health because maybe some people are missing and you survive on those jumps. And same thing as before, bait and switch, very good with evasion. If you run cheat death, you have that extra 15% magic damage less taken. And as always, you have the new force set, you run Lingering Shadows. If you don't, you will run one in Dark Shadow and one in Potent Powder. Nothing changes on gearing. As you can see, everyone is using the trinkets. One on use, one passive. Nothing crazy. And for cooldown usage, you will see some people that do delay blades a little bit. This is a big bug. I don't know what happened here. But one of the things that you can be kind of attent is that try not to have your mark on the one that blinks away because it's going to be very annoying. Try to always have it on Gebo or on the other one. I don't remember if it's Nala or Iku, the one that jumps away. But have your mark on the other one. You can also hold that dances a little bit. Like if you know it's going to jump away and you are doing AoE on both of them, you really shouldn't. Because that way you can't use black powder and you are eviscerating for a bit less damage. Nothing crazy, but every kind of damage counts on this. Now for Bloodlust, most people just send it at the beginning, and it seems some very weird people send it at 4 minutes for some reason. Maybe that's the last jumps or whatever it is. And you can also cheat the fire thing with cloak or with shadow step, whatever you prefer. Also, when you get thrown up by the mushroom, you can also shadow step someone or one of the bosses to go down instantly and lose less DPS that way. The next boss will be Zorak. This is one of the few bosses that is full single target, and as I said before, I do not recommend Gloomblade, mainly because it does have some damage amp phases, and Gloomblade and Dark Shadow are close enough that even getting Dark Shadow on both of them is very good. Same thing as before, you can like the longer cloak maybe when you are in the intermission phase to not get knocked one way or another, and you can use your cooldowns way more comfortably. But also bait and switch is very good in case you do get hit from tornadoes. Here, sadly, I don't think cheat death is that good because most of the damage is rot damage, and even if you get hit by the tornadoes and you are rotting down super hard, you are going to proc cheat death and then die instantly on the next tick anyway. Of course, if you have foresight, you do run Lingering Shadows. If you don't, you put 2 points in Dark Shadow. Same thing as before, improved secret technique, we don't really play with that anymore when we have at least 2 pieces of the new set. You can always sim, but it's going to kind of go into Dark Shadow. Now here, it's something weird. You won't see many, but we can actually use cooldowns a little bit differently. Let me show you. Mainly because the damage amp is at 2 minutes. And now here you will have to make some mental math. If you are going to lose some blades at the end, you can use blades a little bit before, but I do not recommend it. I recommend it using it like these people that are using it over here at 1.50 something, because he does the dig in, and that way you do get that damage up. Now, one thing that I do not recommend though is trying to hold the second blades too much, because as you can see here, if you hold it for too long, like here you see it's 2 minutes. If you use them at when they come off cooldown, you get another use, but if you use them on digging, you do not get another use. And you see here from most people are actually doing the most damage until like this one. You don't have blades for the second digging, and that is fine, because you're going to get blades another time, and also mainly because even if you don't have blades there, you can double dance, and blades is not such a huge cooldown that we really care that much about it. It's good, and also there's a little bit of a cheat code. Blades is kind of good, but when blade ends, let me show you a talent. Sorry, I didn't want to take the camera off. It's called Lingering Darkness. It's going to increase your shadow damage by 30%. And when you have the new forset, Lingering Shadows, Shadow Finishers, a lot of things are going to do shadow damage. And this is for 30 seconds after Blades ends. So if you use Blades at 3:30 something, you use Blade here at 3:30 something, you will see that it ends at 3:56. This means that you are going to have Lingering Darkness for 30 more seconds, and Lingering Darkness is also kind of good. And for those extra 30 seconds, that is going to be until 4 minutes and 20 something, 26 in this case, you are going to have that extra 30% increased shadow damage. You are going to double dance there. And then have that power. It's not worth it to hold dances a lot, but that extra dance that you are going to have over here is going to be very, very valuable anyway. For talent, same thing as before, nothing much changes as you can remember. And let's go into the next one. Twin Fangs. This is another boss. Well, I do recommend that you run Patent Powder. You're going to be using Black Powder because you have 2 targets at all times. And same thing as before, if you do run the new Forset, you have Lingering Shadows, and if not, you put in a point in Dark Shadow. Bait and switch say also it's kind of cool. You can use Cloak to reduce physical damage from the slams, but I would not really use it for that. You can use Feint, it works on it. Either way, there is a bit of rot damage and other things that you do take when Pressing Evasion is kind of good with that. Cheat Death, it's actually very good here. Not because of the slams that sometimes can happen, but because you can get clipped by the people when you have their big red AoE thingy, and it does a lot of damage sometimes. So surviving, it's kind of good on that matter. Now for cooldown usage, the only thing that it's important kind of is when they submerge, but as sub you can kind of hit the, let me take the shadow dances so people are not confused. You use blades on cooldown, most people use bloodlust on pull, so that's okay, nothing much. Just remember that when the middle one is doing the AoE where it goes in a circle, you can cloak that one, or you can shadow step it. I don't recommend shadow stepping. And cloaking, it's kind of for when you want to stay in one, like you see that it's going in the middle, and then it's going in this corner, and it's going to go like doing like this or like this. You can stay over here, and when the beam comes, use cloak. You can hit the middle one quite comfortably, and it's very good. Another thing that you can do, but I will explain kind of in the boss guide, is you can prep your mark to put it on one of the ads and then have a dance ready to burst them down. As said before, it's nothing crazy, just do use Potent Powder. And let's go into the next one. This is Coiled Altar. It can be a bit annoying to play, but this is full single target. Same thing as before. I would recommend cheat death instead of elusiveness here. There is some rot damage, but most of the explosions and things you can use feint, and also the longer cloak might be good for other things, but I will still play bait and switch, mainly because having that evasion just when there is like the huge AoE thingy with Zul'jin, there are a lot of ghosties coming, pressing the evasion there for that 15% reduction while you weaving some feints, it's not bad at all. Some people may run potent powder because you can kind of pad a little bit on the MCs, but it's not worth it. Forset, you run the Lingering Shadows, and if you don't have Forset, you do run Dark Shadows. I do not recommend Glomblade because there is some 2-target and some AoE situations. And improved secret technique, the same thing. Dark Shadows should be better for most people. Now, as trinkets and things, you can see most of the time you will use the unused and also a passive trinket. Now for cooldown usage, this can be a bit weird. The most important thing is to have blades or lingering shadows going into the Zul'jin amp. The Zul'jin amp, depending on your raid group or something, will be around 5 minutes most of the time. And you do want to have or blades, like this person over here, it had blades and then lingering, or use blades a little bit earlier and then you have lingering for the part. It's going to take almost 30 seconds, so I do recommend that you at least have blades ready for that. One other thing, you will use kind of blades on cooldown mostly, but you can also delay blades a little bit when you are getting some dread marks, because remember, if you get targeted by this, you will lose your mark also, so it's very advisable that you have Darkest Night ready. I'm going to explain it on the boss guide when I do it on Heroic, but have that Darkest Night ready if you get hit by Dread March, so you can put it again, or you will have to use Banish to recover your mark. You can see here some people did lose their mark, so they have to use Banish, but not many of them. Like as you can see here, only 1 or 2. Most of them used Banish to get some combo points somehow. As for other things that you may want to know, is most people will be bloodlusting the amp phase, and also this amp phase over here is not 100% that is going to be here. Some people may have the amp phase over here, and that way they used blades in that time frame. It's going to be a full single target fight, some same things as before, as I explained. And let's go into the last fight. I'm not going to put Nimrisa because it's kind of whatever on Heroic, and in Mythic we don't really have much data because no one has killed it. Now for Ulatek, there are a lot of parts where you can do AoE, but they are not important enough that you use potent powder. You will be using Dark Shadow, and if you have the Force, you will be using Lingering Shadows. On this fight, having 2 seconds longer on cloak is not that important either, unless you want to kind of soak 2 of the slams, but it's not that important on that part either. Bait and switch is also very good. There is a lot of rot damage on the last phase, so it's very important that you have some defensive capabilities. I could see running elusiveness on this fight, but cheat death is also very good, mainly because sometimes healers can't really cope in the last part of the fight, and you may proc cheat death while more healing cooldowns are coming or while you are getting picked up. One thing that you can run is Sanguine Vial, but I don't recommend it. Getting the killing blow and having a 5% heal, or you health instantly when the little lads spawn and other things is not that important. Now for cooldowns on this fight, the most important part is having your cooldowns with the heart. The heart of Ulatech, it's going to take 100% extra damage. And if you see, some people are already kind of seeing some kind of secret tech when you do use blades before the heart, but then you will have lingering for also the hard part. So you get, if this person does what I think it does, yes, you will get 3 dances, 2 of them being with lingering, and 1 of them being with a normal shadow dance. This one is a little bit weird, but this one it's a little bit better, because this means you will get, as you go into the platform, you get 1 normal dance with blades on the boss, then you do some pulling, then the heart gets exposed, and then you have your mark and everything ready. You mark the heart and then go bonkers on it. Of course, do remember that this means that you will have the trinket in another bind, so you don't use your trinket with these blades, but you use the trinket kind of standalone with these 2 dances over here. I think this is a little bit of a min-max, because it does let you use an extra blades in the fight. You can use then a blades in the both normally, and then in another hard phase, and then of course at the last part you only have 1. This person had a very, very good idea. These few Chinese people, I do think this timing is better than this one, but this one, the problem it has is that, as you can see here, it maybe you don't really have time for the blades to come back well in the middle. Of course, at 145 it's also fine. You just use the dance a little bit later. You may see maybe that you would use this dance over here instead of moving it here. You could use it here and then use these 2 over here. But this also means that 3 of his dances are going to be buffed by Lingering Darkness, so it's also fine to do that. Getting those extra blades is not going to be kind of tight. You can see 145 into 315 into 445, super tight, but very well done by these people. Blood loss is mostly going to be on the first heart, as you can see here, as you go into the platform, for people to begin the ramp into the heart that only has like 20 seconds, but it's enough. For talents, it's full single target, and same thing as before. And this will be everything for all of the bosses. If you thought it was too long, maybe I can do some timestamps or something, but for now, this is everything. Do remember to check out the full shit, and I will see you on the next video. Okay, let me upload this. Okay, okay. Holy fuck, really? Let me upload this.
I wouldn't cross me if I were you.
Asturas Denil. We shall endure.
Got the best deals anywheres. New shipments coming in soon.
What have you learned lately? I look forward to hearing what you've learned.
I check my Delph.
Hail to ye, adventurer. Come back again.
What the fuck? This is so cool. Holy shit! I didn't know I had this. The fire mount. It's not Taiwan. Yeah, it's not Taiwan. Crazy. Crazy big. Okay,
Let's not waste time. Let's pause to refresh ourselves.
Okay, let me begin uploading that one. Click on this one. Hasta rec. Hello everyone, Achadin over here, and today we are going to be looking at the question mark hasta rec guide for solitary row. First of all, the curios that I have used, remember this is not like the best curios ever, were the corrosive bite spear, the soul cracker, dreamcatcher. Here I haven't done a lot of delves, so these are not super leveled, but I do have them. And then I did use the soul thirst venom, but I've been talking with other people, and the frost heart or the blood crypt poison is better to for survivability. Now, for talents, I do recommend that you run elusiveness. Cheat death is not going to save you apart from like one auto attack. And if you have the new forces, you run lingering shadows. If not, you run dark shadow. Other good things, of course, is bait and switch. You can make so cloak helps you on physical damage. But I did like to save cloak in case the ad that spawns or Ultratech were doing the cast very far away from me. Because remember, we are going to be using Healer Valera, and she does dispel, but she does not interrupt. Now for the Valera herself, was nothing crazy. Mine is level 42 or 40 something. You don't need her to be super high level, but the higher level it is, it's going to help it so she doesn't die. Because remember, this is a sobriety guide, and when we use Shadow Dance, depending on how you use it, if you use it in a weird place or something, she is going to take aggro and she may die. She usually can get like 2 or 3 hits before going down. Now I'm going to explain the fight itself with the clip. Of course, do remember to check guides and everything I have on my sheet. It helped me a lot because remember, YouTube is very weird on trying to find footage. Now, one thing that you also may want is any of the add-ons, like Asta Recte Helper or whatever. I used one where I have to click it myself. You can also bind it, whichever you like best. I'm going to leave it in the description. There's also a mode for automatic, but it needs your camera to be able to change. And I have Leatrix Plus, so it doesn't work. Now let's go into the fight. There's also one other reason why I told people to go elusiveness. On pool, you may get killed in 2 auto attacks if you don't roll elusiveness, or you will proc cheat. This is due to Valera taking a little bit to proc her healing orbs, and that's why the first thing you will see me do after using Shadow Strike, it's going to be an elusiveness. You can see here, elusiveness, and then eviscerate. The normal opener for Deathstalker would be a banish here, but you can reset the fight if you banish wrongly, so don't really do that. Now, as you can see here, after using my elusiveness, she's also going to pop the defensive shield on me, so it will be super fine. Then we get the heals after each auto attack. You can see here, I tanked 1 auto attack, it took the shield, then I got another auto attack, got the other heal, then another auto attack, got the other heal. Now he will do the frontal. We are in a normal dance here because while he's doing the frontal or doing the cast, he does not hit Valera. We have to be very careful. If we dance while he's not doing some shit, he may hit Valera and she may die. Now we move to the middle, getting ready for the ad phase. It was a little bit of a thing, but nothing crazy. The ad spawns most of the time. If you are far away and not in the middle, Valera will instant stun the ad and the ad will be super far away. He may do the cast and kill you. Now we are on the memory phase. The memory phase means that we are going to be using the add-on or the automatic part or clicking it. The first one was on the safe place, was on a star, so I put it on a star. Now the second one is in circle, then in square. As you can see here, I'm kind of ignoring that a little bit. Then I will use a normal dance on it, and it will hit Valera. She will also stun it. You can kidney it. You can use anything. Remember to interrupt it, and just do the memory thing. It does have some sound, but I don't have it enabled. Then it will be 1 frontal, so you are safe to dance. Watch out over here. If you dance again, he may kill Valera. I do stay on the middle. I don't really mind that much staying on the middle. You will get some waves and also auto attacks. Remember to be using your feint quite a bit. Stay also on the damage reduction. Get the heals. Ideally, you always have 3 heals and then kind of get the 4th. Dodge the waves. This is very easy. You can let him hit Valera a little bit if you see her that she's healthy. My Valera is right now at around 60%. Don't want to take it more. And here you get 1 heal. Maybe you let him auto attack with you once. I got both of them, kind of a misplay, but it works anyway. Can remember to use feint if you're going to tank 3 auto attacks. Same here. He's going to do a debuff and do some auto attacks. So he does hit Valira a little bit. You know, she's now at 40%. We dodge waves. Interrupt. Getting the shield is super safe. Remember to use feints. Second memory game, the at spawns. Valira stuns it. You also can kidney it like I did. Just be calm. You have a lot of time. Stay in the middle because there's less of a place to go. And don't remember to take the heals. Interrupt. And if needed, use cloak.
Still with me?
Yes. Here, this is the last one. Now we are ready. Get the last heal.
Dreaming, I see.
Same thing. Dodge waves. It's completely fine to stay in the middle. They are very slow. Same thing here. You can use dances and shit while he's going to the frontal or while he's going to be doing other things. Remember to not let Valira die. But if she dies, it's okay. You can use evasion and revive her. Same thing as before. While he does the frontal, you can dance, no issue. Remember to get the heal wobs. Some of the shit on the ground is disappearing. You can use feint. Now we are going to go into the last phase. I used chip shot on the mob. You can hit him a little bit. Remember to do the thingy. Here I do 2 in a row because I forgot to do that one. Now it begins. To have the add-on telling me where to go. And then the last part, we just interrupt him. Now you can move him from the middle. There are no more ad faces. Try to look for a clean place. And same thing as before. Remember to prop your feint when you see that Valera does not have good heals on you. Interrupt him. Does the last set of waves. Heals. And just in case, if you want, do use evasion at the end because he does hit quite hard. And remember, he does have a damage ramp.
Still with me?
And that is it for most of the
Dreaming, I see.
thing. I would love to mute you, Valera. You're annoying. But as you can see, my gear is actually quite decent. I was 309 when I did that with 2 set, new of the 2 set, and 2 of the other set. If you have lower gear, you will need to be way more careful with your feints and also when you juggle the aggro to Valira. Remember, this boss is a little bit weird in that he may hit you like for 1 or 2 seconds longer than most mobs while you still have dance. So you may die to that. Also, there may be unfortunate consequences. Sometimes he does crit you and you may die. And it is what it is. It's very funny when you begin the fight and the first hit that he does is a crit. And then he does another one, you don't dodge anything and you die. That's why we just feint. Have a nice day and I will see you on the next video. Okay. Um, Need to upload the other one. We should upload the 12 Nalarak and other shit. Mm. Kind of. I don't know what to do. I drop it. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, we did two guides, and then I guess I will post one for the hash thingy. Oh, yeah, I forgot about this. No way, I didn't get the fucking groundwork again. What? What is this shit? Oh. I don't know if I take a mini nap before raid. uploading 2 videos. Mhm. Yeah, I think I'll take a mini nap, then go raid, and finally go full Luma on the night. Okay. I'm going to take a 1 hour break. Then we play some Osu and then go rate.